Okay, so could you tell me what your name is and what your connection is with North Kilworth, please?
Yeah, it's Gregg Windsor, and my wife and I moved to North Kilworth in March 2018. So yeah, we've been here 2 years and live in a property that needs quite a lot of work, so we've been working away trying to do that.
Thank you. So how has lockdown been for you then? How has it affected your life? So Greg, how has lockdown been for you?
Lockdown has been, it's not actually been too bad for us. We're in the really lucky position that we've got two kids that have managed to keep us entertained for the entirety of it. So that's been really good, and we've set ourselves little projects. So we built the pond in the garden here, and we've tried to sort out our garden as much as possible, our back garden at least, and other projects in the house because we've been sort of renovating as much as we can. So we've been busy, but having said that, I think there has definitely been some difficult parts to it. Not being able to see family was really quite tough, and particularly with the kids not being able to see their grandma and grandpa and the in-laws. That was really difficult, and trying to find reasons why when they don't quite have the comprehension of what exactly is going on. So that was difficult. And another thing that I personally found quite difficult is the first month I quite struggled with it because I was training to be a teacher when we went into lockdown, midway through training, and then obviously schools stopped happening, education stopped happening. So I was in a position where I wasn't quite sure whether I would get to the end of my training or how it would go, and I was also in the process of kind of finding my feet with what I was doing, and so from kind of a psychological perspective, that put me on a really kind of strange limbo. But it took a little while, and then kind of got to the thought that it is what it is and you can't do a lot about it, and then we just concentrated on enjoying the time as a family, and that was brilliant for us because never again, I hope, but also I shouldn't think that will I be able to spend that much time with my family. And I mean, I hope in terms of we don't have anything like this happening again, but to be able to spend 6 months solidly watching my children grow up and having all those great times was really good. It was nice for that.
Because they're at a crucial age, aren't they, your children? How old are they?
Yeah, so my son, well, he's actually 2 in February, and my daughter's 3.5 now. She was 3 in June. So yeah, they're at really kind of key developmental ages. And obviously everything changed for them as well. They were at nursery, so they stopped having that routine. And then our routine was really shaken up, and that alters all sorts of things. And as I say, as great as it was because we had the time together, we all had to adapt to that change in our lifestyle. But it was good.
So some positives in the midst of all the negatives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But you haven't kind of just had a quiet life during lockdown. You've also started a new business. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. Okay. So, kind of stupidly in a way, I waited till the end of lockdown to begin or restart a business. So we used to live in Rugby, and when we lived in Rugby, before we had the children, we started our business, The Smoking Pig, and that was a catering business. I've got a catering trailer, and I'd make sausages and would go out to events and would sell gourmet hot dogs. But it never really made us any money. We spent a lot more than we made through doing it, and also we had the kids. So as anybody who has kids knows, that throws everything out, and we decided to knock it on the head at the time because it just wasn't viable. We needed to spend the time at home with the kids and make sure we were being, attentive parents was the goal. But I have always still wanted to carry it on, and one of the things that worked really well when we were doing the business was we sold hampers, and I made bacon and I made sausages and I put them in hampers. So we kind of knew what we wanted to do again, and as we got into lockdown we started questioning, you know, what do we want to do out of life and all that sort of thing, and decided that actually it would be a really good time to start things up again.
Yeah.
So we redid our garage and relaid the floor and put all the stainless steel worktops, all of that sort of thing, and started our business again, albeit on kind of I would say an easier format to run it, which is just selling bacons. Having now been 8 weeks into it, it's been quite a lot of hard work, but it's been really good, and the local community have supported us really well.
Yeah, and how is it going, the business? Is it looking like a positive thing for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going really well, and as I say, the local community has been really responsive to it. We have only advertised via Facebook, as is the wonders of social media now, and every week we've managed to sell out, and we only do fairly small runs compared to what you'd expect from a butcher's or supermarkets, whatever. But we have been overwhelmed by the response, and what has been even more gratifying, I think, is one, we've had lots of positive responses back, people messaging us, which I think is always a nice thing when somebody takes the time to then message you back and say how good they think the product is. And two, we've had a really high level of repeat customers as well, and I hope that kind of indicates a sign of how good the product is once again, and how much people enjoy the quality of what we've put together, because that's been really important to me from a food background as well.
Yes.
I kind of want it to be better than what you can get at the shop, because there needs to be a reason why you come back, you know, and we enjoy being able to put something together which is really good quality that people do like and do want to come back for. So I've been amazed and overwhelmed by the response. It's been really nice to see, and really great to become sort of a part of the community as well. Which has been difficult, obviously, through lockdown, and even before that. You know, when our kids go to school, we'll probably be a bigger part of the community then, but it's been quite difficult to get to know people prior to that. So this has been a really nice way to just get to know a few people.
So, Greg, what have you done as a family during lockdown? How have you filled your time?
So we kind of struggled to think of ideas at first, but the most obvious thing that we could have done, and we did end up doing a lot, was use the village spaces, and also we walked to South Kilworth quite a lot because it's quite a nice little track and it would help the kids go to sleep. So that was nice when both kids were having a nap during the day. But we couldn't use the park, unfortunately. But the Millennium Green and the bogs, we walked down there almost every day as well, and that was really nice, just to get a bit of time in green space. And because our kids are so young, we couldn't go walking properly, like along the canal or things like that. It's really difficult to do with a buggy, and we've tried it, and that didn't work out very well. But the bogs was perfect, and the Millennium Green, because we could just go down there and take a ball, take a frisbee, and the kids would run around, and it's a nice safe space to be. And as I say, just having a bit of time in green space is really good from a kind of mental side of things. When you're stuck indoors all day, you need to be able to see wildlife, and we're very privileged where we live. We can look out of our rear window and we see fields, and we see all sorts of things, wildlife, all the time. But you need to get away from that too, and realise that you're not hemmed in. And I think that is probably the most difficult thing about lockdown, is it was that feeling of you're not allowed to go anywhere, and there was no physical boundary to stop you. It was just what we were told to do. So being able to kind of break through that and go out and see the local spaces in the village was really important to us.
That's